Hello, Mark.
Hello, Bruce.
Let's just recap. As it's been more than 30 years, I think it's probably time to recap on the history of Little Angels and all the subsequent events. Let's try and do it fairly quickly and get up to the present day where we find ourselves together in the room where you've just finished your MA.
Right.
So quite a lot gone on. So Little Angels started at school, Scarborough Sixth Form College.
Yeah, I met you guys there when you were in another band
called King Louis.
King Louis.
And we liked your drumming. And then we had another drummer, and then we had Mike Lee. You auditioned for the Mike Lee job.
Yeah, but you told me to do one because I was too green. But I came
You were
anyway.
quite young because you were a bit younger than us.
Yeah, yeah.
But you came pretty close, and we remembered it. And then I think we invited you to shows along the way.
Yeah, I always came and helped out at gigs, all that sort of stuff. Always kept in touch with you. And when Mike Lee left, that's when
in you came.
In I came.
And sort of that was at the height and the verge, almost the height and the verge of the fall of Little Angels, because it was grunge was just starting and we were peaking. So we did the #1 album, and I think we did some amazing shows.
Yeah.
For your tenure, I think your first gig was
my first gig. My dad always said I played Cardiff Arms Park, but I don't think he thought it'd be music. He thought it'd be rugby.
Right.
But first gig was Cardiff Arms Park after a warm-up in front of nobody at the Green Man in North London.
Okay.
And because we kept it too quiet, do you remember?
Right,
Literally, no, we've got to keep it on the lowdown because otherwise it'd be too full, and then nobody turned up.
Yeah.
And then Cardiff Arms Park, absolutely bricking it. But then we went on to support.
It was a good gig, I remember. It was really great.
Oh, it was amazing.
And how old would you be then?
I was 21.
21.
I remember sitting with Mickey Curry behind the stage on the steps.
Right.
And he was like, just remember, it's all about feel.
Right.
And I've never forgotten it.
Wow.
So it's not about chops, it's all about feel.
We met some great people, and lessons like that was our education, I suppose, wasn't it? Because there wasn't colleges in them days. You do forge a lot of bonds, don't you, in them transit van years?
Absolutely. Yeah. You go through an awful lot of ups and downs and good time, just really amazing times. The thing with music is, and sort of having a modicum of success, is that the good times are extreme, but so the bad times, there's very little sort of in between.
Yes. So the roller coaster for us started when 6 months after the #1 album, Kurt Cobain released Nevermind. We were very, very unfashionable doing what we were doing very quickly. Yeah. And I remember Jimmy went from I've told this story a lot, but he went from the private jet with Richardson on board drinking champagne to putting cheesy Wotsits on the shelf in Tesco's on the early morning shift within about 6 months, wondering what's happened. But you floated around in the wilderness a bit with me in a stoner rock band.
Yeah,
for a year. And then you got this gig with Skunk, who were very much on the up, and also marked a transition. It was quite a cool gig because it was a transition into a cooler sort of music from the hair rock thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd loved Little Angels. Could see that things were changing. Blues rock wasn't really my thing, and we had that conversation, didn't we? And I said, I've met this girl called Skin out of band Skunk Anansie, and they sort of offered me an audition, and you just went, you'd be mad if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
You'd be mad if you didn't go for that.
Because I remember Cooler Shaker was starting to kick off.
Yeah.
It was managed by Kevin, it was managed by us as well. You could feel this kind of new edge on Britpop coming through, and Skunk were like the rock end of that, and you could do Reading and stuff like that, and it was like, man, you've got to go and do it.
Yeah, and I've always appreciated that, because there's not a lot of people would be that, willing to be so gracious.
Wow.
Well, they wouldn't, because they'd be like.
You don't own people in your band, do you?
No, not at all.
Even if you're married, you don't own that person. You just got that you're privileged to work together on the thing that you're doing. And you have to be sort of unconditional. It has to be an unconditional relationship. Everyone's there to support each other, but no one owns each other. Yeah. So it was great to see you do that, and then it just went.
I guess I felt a little bit funny because Little Angels had given me my break, and I felt like I was sort of, I don't know.
Everyone gives someone a break.
Yeah. Yeah, but Skunk.
That goes down the line, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
And
so thanks for that.
Up. Well, you're welcome. and then Skunk just went bonkers.
Yeah. So the first album came out. I was drunk in a kebab shop in Andover because I was And I saw this video of It Was I Can Dream, like the wobbly one with, and I was like, God, this is interesting. Then a week later after that, I was in Nottingham with Steve. We went to see Therapy, and Skunk Anansie was supporting them, and they absolutely like knocked my head off. And that's when we had our conversation.
Right,
A week after that, I met Skin at the Kerrang Awards because Blow and Skunk were both up for Best New British Band.
Right,
And their drummer just happened to be temporary. So,
wow.
So she was like, well, come for an audition.
Yeah.
So I've got to talk to Bruce, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And that was it really. The first album came out. I joined them for the charity video, which was the 4th single.
Yeah.
And the one after that was Weak, and that was it.
And it just kicked off, and then it ran for a good 5 or 6 years, as I remember.
It ran from, I joined in June 95, and it ran till we split up in September 2000.
And I remember that was quite a bereavement. It always is.
Yeah.
When you lose a band,
Yeah.
even when it's the right time for it, it still feels like funny. It still feels like you've lost a member of the family and the centre of your life. And I think Skunk had become such a thing, such a family in a band, that I remember close to you and Ace, and I know the other guys quite well, and everybody seemed quite stunned by it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it did sort of come out of the blue to a certain degree, but by the same token, you know, we all had our own stuff going on, and we just thought it was the right time to take a break. So, you know, here I was for the second time, going, oh my God, well, surely I've had my opportunity there, you know. And the same thing happened after Little Angel. It was like, well, it was amazing while it lasted, you know. Let's keep playing anyway, see what happens. Same thing happened after Skunk. And then the following, I was again trying to get stuff going with, you know, Wayne Riches, who went on to play drums. He went on to play drums for Skin Soda Project, actually. We tried to get something going in that year, and then the January 2002, John Lee tragically completed suicide.
Right.
So, and Grant called me a few days after that because we toured with them with Blow, we toured with them with Skunk Anansie around Europe, and asked me if I wanted to.
Yeah, you were already in the family.
I was already in the family, sort of thing, and we'd been out in London and Camden loads and loads and loads, so that was another sort of natural drum stool to kind of slot into in a way.
I mean, you're always suited these big rock gigs, because over the years I've noticed that sometimes we all want to be something we've not. We've talked about that. You know, and I want to be more of a session musician sometimes, and I'm not. I'm just an old classic rock enthusiast. And then you always get these drum lessons. I've known it every 10 years. You like go off and get some Latin lessons or something, and get annoyed, and then
and then come back to
what you
do.
do. But that's what people want from you, isn't it? You know. So it's a big stadium thing that you do, and then you've got those. Consequently, you get those sort of gigs, really. And then by the time that was coming to the end of its natural lifespan, I suppose Skunk was rolling around again.
Yeah, so 3 albums with Feeder, and then we were obligated, Skunk Anansie were obligated to do a best of, and that was coming up because the contract was coming to its end, so we had to do that, and Feeder didn't want me to do both, so I went back to Skunk Anansie. And that was only a temporary thing until we realised how much we loved each other and how much we enjoyed it still. And then we wrote Tear the Place Up, Squander, and another one, which I can't remember, and loved it.
And it's funny
because of you.
You start to realise bands go through these cycles where you're the biggest things in sliced bread and in the context of where you are, and you really go out of fashion for a bit and you think, what the hell was that all about? And then it sort of picks up again on 2 waves of nostalgia. Like the 10-year one when people have had kids and then they think about going out again. You get that one, and then you get the 20-year one when the kids are at uni and you know.
You go, my mum and dad brought me to see
off you go, and we had one of them when you were doing Skunk. We had to ring up and say, was it all right if we borrow Mark for a bit? Because we had a 20-year reunion in 2012, which is a right laugh. Doing the download thing. And these old bands, if you can stick at it, they become more valuable as you get older. You know, and they never go away. They sort of gather momentum, and sometimes the less you do, the bigger they get.
I hope you're right, because we're not doing a fat lot at the moment.
So, and then sort of bring us right up to date. We find ourselves in WaterBear because we've both got something in common, that neither of us have got a degree or done particularly well at our A-levels, but we've both got master's qualifications. I did mine at Middlesex University in the early 2000s. He offered one at WaterBear that was very work-based learning orientated, and you made the decision to come and do that.
We were walking out there and in the park and just talking about it, and I just thought it was a really good opportunity for me to tackle a couple of things. You know, one, like an academic sack of not good enough that I was carrying around with me. I'd been
you had a funny thing at school, didn't you? You didn't think you were very good at school.
Awful time at school.
Yeah.
So I'd been carrying this weight with me for a long time, and it was a chance to rid myself of that. It was also a chance to sort of, you know, consolidate all of the areas of the music stuff that were going on in my life, but I couldn't really make sense of, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sort of quantify it and look at the value in it. And this is why I love water-based learning, because it's respectful and you know, you get to go, oh, this is what the point of being in that band was about. Look at all this stuff I pulled out there.
Yeah.
But your fear, not fear, but your lack of confidence on the academic side was quite extreme. Never have we had somebody more unsure who did so well. You know, and those
I think that sums me up, though.
Right.
Honestly, that really sums me up. I am always terrified and always super anxious.
Right.
And there's very rarely a need for it.
Yeah. Well, that's another story.
Yeah.
That's resilience, isn't it? You know. And a common story as well. But it's amazing that you managed to get over all that and see it through and end up with the distinction.
Yeah, it was just
very proud of that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Me too. And it amazes me that I was able to focus on the work and get it done. And ironically, I suppose lockdown assisted that in some ways.
Yeah.
But I was just able to spend all day, every day on it.
Yeah.
And that really helped me.
Yeah.
You know.
And what's next for the future?
So what the Masters helped me do was understand how to bring the music together with my own personal recovery from addiction. Been sober for 20 years nearly now. The sort of burgeoning charity of music support that I'm a founding trustee of, which is 5 this year actually. Wow. And a sort of a passion for helping others, a coaching qualification that I also got. Bring all of that stuff together, and that became my sort of thesis. And I didn't know that at the start.
Right.
But what's come out of it is like the universe is funneling me down this corridor. Like, you need to help people in the music industry with mental health challenges. So I am going to do a psychotherapy degree.
Amazing.
And focus on the music industry.
What a great thing to do. And what a great thing to do alongside performance career as well.
Yeah, so
it's
obviously
the way we do things now, isn't it? We have dual careers and
portfolio career.
That's it.
I never forget the pie chart you drew me years ago.
Yeah, that's the pie chart. So that's been brilliant to catch you up.
Yeah,
thank you.
Awesome.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Are we allowed to do this now?
No.